So in this second series of things to avoid, we're going to attack some other machines that you're going to find at common box gyms. So these are going to be some key exercises to try to completely avoid, and I'll try to give you some examples on other things that I would use. So the first big no-no exercise in a normal gym is a Smith machine. Now for some of you guys are going to think, oh, the Smith machine's a lot safer because I can't drop it this way or that way. But in reality, it's putting your joints at really compromised positions and not real good for lifting based on that fact that it stays in that single plane. Now, as you can see, this bench has a particular angle to it, almost of 10, 20 degrees. Now, I don't even know where to set myself up for that because I can't adjust going down. A normal bench press will not have a direct up and down. It should be close, but as you can see here, it's going to touch a little bit higher than I would normally be here to touch. But now the machine is making me do here to be in the right position at the top. So because it locks me in a single plane, it's causing me, even now with just 25 pounds on each side, a little bit of shoulder pain, and I've been 600 pounds. So the bad thing about this is although it seems safer because you can self-rack, it's actually more dangerous because it locks you in a singular plane. An exercise that we could do that's a little bit safer than using dumbbells if you're afraid of those, but way better than a Smith machine, is just to use a single arm cable exercise. So on this machine, see, now I have to balance this way, but I'm still hitting the same plane of muscles. But now I have to balance all this, meaning that I'm going to turn on a lot more fiber and create a lot more coordination, but I'm also going to make small fine-tuned adjustments based on shoulder health and integrity. So if I'm in the Smith machine, there is no adjustment this way or that way to make sure that I'm working in the right plane. You're just in its plane. This allows you to move in your natural range of motion no matter how good or bad you're built. The next key exercise that I would try to completely keep out of my regimen is doing these PEC Flies. So this machine's pretty common. I mean, there's even like 2 or 3 of them here at the gym. Now, this machine, although at first doesn't look like super dangerous, the problem is that we don't want to train our anterior nearly as much as our posterior, okay? But the big issue is how do I know that my body actually wants to fly in this position? And the answer is I don't, okay? So this thing could be locking me in and causing a lot of shoulder issues that are really not necessary. So all we would have to do is the same movement, the same exercise laying down, and do it with dumbbells. And that's going to allow us almost the same pressure. It's going to allow us, our body, to adjust this way, which is crucial for shoulder health, and give us the same, or roughly the same amount of hypertrophy that we want. The problem is that make sure, again, that when you're doing front work, that you got double the amount of back work on the exact same day that you train. So don't split things up to where you're doing stuff 48 hours later. You have a day that's only for back and a day that's only for chest. Whatever chest work you do, you double the back work the exact day. And the reason for that is shoulder health and integrity. You don't want to create anterior pressure and then not pull it back posteriorly. So remember, try to stay away from machine flies, but in all reality, you can make a lot of gains getting your chest a lot bigger if you just do a lot of bench pressing and then a ton of back work and keep your shoulders healthy. Because remember, the one that gets the biggest is the one that can get the strongest the longest. Got all these little shoulder issues and pec tears and all these other things because you train too many pecs. You're not going to get nearly as big as if you never have any issues. So remember that structure comes before doing a lot of PEC Flies. You got to make sure always that your training protocol is all about structure based versus just isolating muscle tissue. The next exercise that we really want to try to avoid is something like this, a lateral raise machine. The reason is that we don't know what the tension is from here to here. It could change. Plus, I'm pretty sure this machine isn't built for me, as you can see. But the problem is that when you're pinched in like this and you can only move one way, the shoulder probably doesn't like that very much. So what I like to use is some of the same movements of this nature, but just do it with a cable or just do it with a dumbbell. Try to do things that allow you to have to balance, because something that locks you in and can't let you move, I'm not so sure is super healthy for your joints in the long term, and that's what we kind of look for. You want to look for machines or even exercises of that nature that are going to allow you to get stronger and look better, but not create near the mileage. And I find that machines like this, PEC Flies, Smith machines, things of that nature tend to fix you in one particular plane, are probably not really good for your joints. It's not the way you were intended to move. So if you get into something and it feels awkward and it feels weird, chances are you may not be doing it wrong. It's just not for you. And really, I think that's why you see such a resurgence of free weights these days, is because, in my opinion, free weights are much safer. Okay, so we went over some key things to avoid. Was trying to stay away from a Smith machine. As much as we may want to try to make a bench press a straight line, Smith machines make it too excessive. And furthermore, a lot of Smith machines now are not straight up and down. They have angles to them, which actually make them worse. So you want to stay away from a lot of that stuff, i.e., if you can do it with free weights, do it with free weights, or do it with cables. Try to use things that let your body kind of reset its center of gravity or balance or joint position. Remember that a lot of these machines are not necessarily designed for your build, your body type, or your structure or biomechanics. So what ends up happening is that you might be in a machine that's not fitted for you, therefore is going to cause excessive stress and wear on the joint. And remember, the one who trains the longest is the one who gets the strongest.